about mental health as our mind. Mental health, what comes to mind is our mind, and that is it. So when our mind, when what's going in our mind affects the way we think, the way we act, and the way we behave, then we will know what state our mind is. Now, when our mind is struggling, to be okay, to be fine, to be well, then we talk about mental well-being. Then, the struggle that our mind is fighting for, we can call that mental illness. But if our mind is okay, we are happy, we can function daily. When we are behaving okay. When we are acting normal. When we are thinking, we are thinking okay. Then we have no mental illness. But if it's the other way around, then there is a challenge. Then we have mental illness. So that's just basic introduction of what we want to talk about today. Now, is there any reason why women should have mental illness? Of course, yes. Mental illness is what women go through. Because without life is full of so many things. We have responsibilities that we go through. And so someone says, is it possible to live a stress-free life? I said no. Because everything we do daily comes with stress. And we can't afford to just say I do and just stay in one place because I want to avoid stress. Life goes on. So we can't just stay in one place and say there's no stress, I don't want to feel stress. So let's move forward. Let's move to number 2. Let's talk about the causes why we could go through mental illness. I tapped them into 4 areas. I want to start with psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis talks about the origin, the foundation. Let's look at, when we look at the Oedipus and the electric complex, when we look at psychodynamics, for instance, a girl child is in the middle. And when the girl child is growing up, psychologically she gets attached to the dad. Isn't it? Okay. Now, the boy child as well. When the boy child is small, who does he get attached to? Still the mom. So the mom is in the middle. We women were in the middle. We have the dad. And we have the boy child. Still, everybody's struggling to push us. I want this. I want your attention. So definitely, as we grow up as women, psychologically, we are built in that way to take care of our spouses as we grow up. And then when we give birth as well, the boy child naturally attaches to us. So that is why it's possible for us to have mental illnesses. It's possible for us to that because when our mind is affected by so many things we get attached to, then we could have mental illness. Let's talk about the foundation. In some families, they believe when the girl child gets married, she must get married to a rich man. And the rich man must take care of all the siblings of the girls. In Benin, for example, Nigeria, they take care of the girl child so well. And they're always beautiful, giant, lovely, fine skin color. And the father pampers the girl child. As well, the mother pampers the girl child. Don't beat her, leave her alone. They will send this child to school, send her abroad, just to prepare her for a good and rich, wealthy citizen. Most of them go abroad and they marry white. They make sure they marry foreigners because they bring in the foreign currencies, build house for the family, enrich the family, the parents, and they use that because they imbibe in the child that when you get married, your responsibility is to take care of the family. And the wife struggles, the husband will do this for my family. And that would also cause mental illness. And let's talk about the scriptural analysis. What does God say? God said to Adam, toil, take care of the family, work hard, be a responsible husband, be a responsible father. Take care of the family. But when it's the son of Eve, God said, you're old. You may not toil, you may not work, but just reproduce. Give birth, and you must take care of them. Make sure they are okay, make sure they are fine. So
when we give birth to our children, we take care of our children, we make sure they're okay, we make sure they're fine. It's a whole lot. And when we go through all of this, it could actually affect our mind and make us to have mental illness. And the next phase, let's look at another causes why we could have mental illness, behavioral analysis. And I will analyze that based on, we all know when we talk about childhood traumas, we go about a lot. Some of us, we go through abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. We were talked down on. Some of us are bullied of our size, of our family background. Most of us who come from a divorced family. We got people who talk down on us, our friends. Some of us who didn't do well academically in school. We got bullied by our friends. And that memory still lingers on, no matter how old we get to. Even when we're 60, when we're 70, when we get married, when our children are also growing up, we go back to those memories. So those cause mental illness in women. What about grief, loss? We lost somebody so dear to us. We never want to let go. We are there, still recovering and going through a lot. And even though we pretend that it's okay, we know that when we are in our secret places, our mind is being affected with all those memories. Now let's look at another cause, that is humanistic analysis. As human being, there is what we call perceived self. We have the true or real self. We have the ideal self. What is a perceived self? The perceived self is yourself, and that's what do people say you are. There was a time, that was some years back, I worked in some schools, before even my polytechnic education, I went to put up a teaching role in the school. So I was put in nursery 3, if I can remember. And I was teaching, and a parent told me, you've got to have your own school. When you have your own school, you're going to do well. People will come, children will come, parents will love you because you smile a lot and you teach my children. I said, thank you. Years after, I did not wait. Not from her. Many people, Sarah, you can have a school. I started a school. I started flyer, banner, invited people. Everybody come. It's a preschool anyway. Oh yeah, let's come. But the school didn't last for 2 years. So sometimes when I'm in the house and I saw the old flyer, I said, hey, see, it never lasted 2 years. I had babies, I had like 5 babies, but I myself was the one that went to their houses one by one and told the family, please, we are closing down. Please, we are closing down. I have to do that. So that was what people thought about me. That is my perceived self. Now, my true self, who am I? Who really am I? Who you really are. That is your true self. Who did God ordain you to be? Who did God ordain you to be as a person? That is your true self. Now you have this self. How would you like to be? You yourself. God said this is what you are. You, what do you want to be? And I was able to know where I want to be 10 years after the school was closed down. Because it took me a long way. I was confused. I never had a mentor. I never know where to go to. I don't know who to call for help. But last, I still found my right path after 10 good years. So those are the possible causes. When we are confused about our true self, we don't know what we have. And we still want to function as a wife. We still want to function as a mom. We still want to function as a career woman. Some of us studied the wrong courses in school. I did. If I had known, I wouldn't have studied computer science for my BSc. I wouldn't have gone for my OND in Polytechnic as a computer science again. See what life. Oh, later, I got my passion. I went through self-actualization, and I know who I really want to be. And this is what I'm doing now today, standing. 6 years ago, I never thought I would stand. I never thought there was something like CradlersCot because I got my bearing 2020 during the COVID. That was why I have the self-actualization process, and I know who I really want to be. And since then, I have never remained the same because my humanistic analysis has gotten me to a place of no going back. And since then, I had moved forward. Then, I was having mental illness because I never know where I am going to. But now, my humanistic approach to life is healed of any mental illness because I am on the right path. Now, there are some possible symptoms that could come up as women. And the symptoms are so numerous. I listed them. Sometimes when we go to mental illness, we are confused based on all the analysis that has been, described, the four that I've described earlier. We could have unexplained crying or bitterness, regret, and shame. I once had that. Mood swing. When a woman is, you have a friend, and sometimes she's happy today, tomorrow she's the other side. It didn't just come, there is a trigger for it. There is something wrong with the mind of that person. Of course, some commit suicide, and suicide doesn't just happen. It starts from when you're depressed. When you're depressed, obviously, thought of suicide will come. And before suicide comes, the thought of suicide must have come like 100 times, 80 times, 70 times. Oh, life is worthless. Oh, what am I? The responsibility. My foundation, my family expect me to do this. I'm attached to my husband so well. And also when we are abused from those that we love. When we are abused from those that are so close to us. Anxiety, we are always anxious because there is so much on this brain. For example, we could open, the way I open this computer, I could open so many apps in it. So all the apps on this system are everything, the functions, the activities we need to do as women. And we cannot blame God for telling Eve to take up the responsibility. No. We just have to work it out on our own. Sometimes we can't blame our foundation, the psychoanalysis. We can't blame where we're coming from. We just have to work it out. That is why we have said today we are coming to move for our mental health. Self-isolation, we're tired, we just want to stay. Low self-esteem. We don't want to go out anymore. We are tired. Some become psychopaths in the society. Some have this disorder, they become arrogant, they want to get back to those who hurt them. When people wronged us, when we were little, we never forgo. It stays in our heart. Then they grow with it. The hatred is still there. They never got healed. They could be Christian. They could be workers. They could be ministers. But in their mind, they know what they want to do. And what they do, a psychopath in society gets back at whoever hurts them. Doesn't matter if it's a blood relation, the sisters, the brothers. And we also have children that grow like that. So they go back and make sure they get back that whoever hurt them. There was a movie I watched. In fact, the title of the movie is so clear. Psychopath. I made sure I watched that movie to the end because I love to watch movies. It's one of my hobbies. So it started that there is a professor in the university. He has a daughter. They stay in the university. The lectures, apartment they give them, something like that. And suddenly, the daughter just got attached to a classmate, and they become very close, the same gender, both girls. They become very close, they go for shopping, during break they go to cafe, they join the same dance club in the university, and after a time, the friend comes to the house, and the first day the friend came to the house, the dad, who is a professor, there was something fishy, he couldn't explain. So it was like, my daughter, I don't like this old friend. There's a feeling I'm feeling. I think she's going to hurt you. I think she's not the right friend you should keep. The daughter flare up. What do you mean? She's okay. She buys me this. She gives me this. Please, we read together. And at the long run, to cut the story short, the friend killed the girl, and she killed the professor. The reason was that years back, they attended the same primary school in another state. And she, who is the psychopath, the friend now, very big size. So the daughter of the professor is kind of a bully to her then. You're too fat, you eat too much, you could go and take the food, throw it in the bin. You should report it to the teacher won't do anything. So she grew up with the hatred. And she prepared herself. She told the parents, I want to live here. They relocated because she couldn't bear the bully. She changed her school. When it's time for her to get admission, she made sure she gets admission to the university. She traced them, she traced the girl and knew the university, knew the father is now a professor, got admitted, luckily for her, or fortunately. And that was how she was able to execute the revenge. That is it. So some becomes that, and that, her mind has been affected right from when she was young, and she was not healed. So people become that in the society. So, and also, insomnia, some sleep disorder, some of us, it's in disorder. When our mind is not ill, we're going to mental illness, we may not be able to eat. We lost weight or gain. A woman once told me, when I'm stressed, I had weight. I was like, oh, you are stressed, and your own is, you had weight when you are stressed. So that's okay, that's fine. Some become a sociopath as well. They just want to do evil. They don't care. It could be because someone hurt them in the past. Or they just want to kill. Their own style is that they have the same sequence of getting revenge. If their own is killing, they kill whoever gets their way. We have politicians that are women that does that. We have staff, they pull down the fellow staff. They make sure a certain staff is being sacked from work. No? They kind of seduce the staff husband, snatch husband. Some are that. It's mental illness. Some cases are not spiritual. It's because they have mental illness. And they are all in our society. Women doing all sorts of, act because what their mind is going through. Sometimes we're exhausted of daily activities. We're tired. Life is unfair. Some people will say this life no balance. Life is unfair. It's not balanced. Fingers are not equal. But there's a woman that said, when you tell her fingers are not equal, fingers are not equal, you tell me, no, Sarah, must your own finger be the shortest? Must your own finger be the shortest if fingers are not equal? Because we're just tired sometimes. We're exhausted. And then sometimes there are unclear diagnosis of physical illness. You can't go through depression. Although there is antidepressant and everything that it could give us, at nursing in mental health. But if we can go through some therapeutic exercises, we could do without antidepressant and get healed from depression. It's possible. There is a case very close to me. He is the other gender. He's not a woman, he's a man. He was sick, never had a happy home, and then he gets to the hospital, series of tests were done, and there was no result. They always tell him, no result, you are okay, you're fine. And on and on and on. At the later end, he left Nigeria and came to the UK. And when he came to the UK, he thought University College Hospital in Ibadan. They were not, the fake doctors. What would they do? They didn't find anything. And he came here. The same result, you are okay. But he said, but I'm not okay. I feel like I have typhoid, malaria, I couldn't eat. I said, no, something is wrong. They couldn't find anything. And at the end, he died. He died alone in the house, and they got to know after 3 days. It was when some stories he told some people, some colleagues, it means this man actually going into depression. But they couldn't find anything. That's a very good example I will never forget. Sometimes we get angry, sometimes we are stressed, and sometimes we go through addiction. Because many people want to get healed of mental illness, they get into addiction into alcohol, cigarette, smoking, clubbing, and we go through a lot like that. So let's talk about how we can clear ourselves of any mental illness. I've grouped into two. The first one I want to talk about is self-love. That's self-love. And when we love ourselves, first of all, regardless of where the causes or the foundation of our mental illness is coming from, we are going to get healed. And when we self-love ourselves, we are going to have a positive mindset. Love yourself. Take care of yourself first. No matter the pressure, no matter the stress we go through on a daily basis, we have to take care of ourselves. We can hang out with those positive energy at always. Stay away from negative friends who we add to the load that we already have. Choose good friends. Then let's avoid stressful conversation. I wrote a whole lot. Read a book, shopping, dance, class, music. I think I will send this to the platform so we can have the full details of it because of time. And I also talk about self-discovery, which will give us self-confidence. When we discover ourselves, who I am, who I really am, we are healed. We save ourselves from so many stress that we go through. We can practice self-positive affirmations. We choose a mentor. We choose our network. Pastor Apple always tell you, know your network. Who are your network? We all need that. And on that was listed. But the last slide is about some therapeutic exercises that we can do to get healed from any mental disorder that we could be going through. I talk about, first of all, aromatherapy. It may be like a lifestyle. Some people love flowers. Pastor Andrea loves flowers, according to Pastor Akpo. So it's just not a fun or what we like. It's called aromatherapy. And you know that there is a sense of feeling when you smell nice from your nose and it goes through your mind, it goes through your head, and you have this feeling of relaxed feeling through your vein, through your muscle, and you know you feel good about yourself. You can practice that. There was a time I couldn't go out without always, but I'm better now. All the time I was. So I do that. So thank God for our men who actually gave us the body spray for our Mother's Day. I got mine, and I use it very well. It should always finish by now. So I use that. It's very give me a sense. In our house, let's put diffusers. Let's put diffusers by the time you come in from the stress outside. By the time you enter, you are okay. Put diffusers everywhere. First of all, your body's calm. Take a shower. Lie on the couch. It relaxes. And so what about self-awareness therapy? Self-awareness therapy is about, emotional intelligence. You don't flare up all the time. A counselor friend of mine said, self-awareness is like silence therapy. I said, what is silence therapy? How do you come about silence therapy? He said, didn't I know that self-awareness is all about you don't react to everything. Your world is noisy already. Why adding our own? Why was we shout at our own? Be a moment of silence. There was a time, one of our children told me, the brother told him that before we went to Nigeria, I do the school runs, I do the drop-off, we go to Custom, we eat ice cream, but when we came to UK, mommy doesn't have time. I did not flare up. I did not say you are a sport child. You are evil. So you wanted me to come here and sit down and work with all the bills? I said, no. I wasn't hungry. I put down a note. I said, okay, this is my strength. This is my weakness. It's a moment of silence. I wasn't fighting. It doesn't make me hungry. And I said, okay, if that is a complaint, then I have to go to self-awareness myself. It means something is missing. And what is missing is that more time. And I had to make sure I have a time that we go out together. And since then, I have positive feedback, from the person who told me what the person said. So I find a way to find out, and it was positive. I did that. Self-actualization is talk about your potential. When we think about that according to God's thing, we talk about it as your potential, your full potential. Getting to your full potential, because if we are not fulfilling God's purpose for our lives, it has a way of dealing with us, with our mind. So when you actualize yourself, who am I? Who has God called me to be? And it is believed that people who go to their full potential in life, they live long. They live 80, they live 90, they live 100, because they're able to impact to the world. And probably God has a way of paying them back by giving them good health and being alive to fulfill that purpose. It also helps. Beauty therapy. Please, if we need to go for beauty therapy, let's go for beauty therapy. If you want to go to massage, let's go for a massage. All right, let's go there. Let's have a nice time. Let's have a very nice time. Let's treat ourselves good, ourselves nice. Let's take care of our body, how we look. Okay, we need to make our hair, let's look fine for ourselves. I don't like bags to some extent. I prefer shoes to bag. Oh, and I buy more shoes than I get back because I want to take care of myself. Most times it's not that we should go to the M&S, you should spend expensive money. No, not everything we use to take care of ourselves should be expensive. No, we want to have a nice treat. We may not go to the 5-star hotel and spend the whole pound and dollars that we have. Just little a month, we can go to McDonald's, the little one, buy chicken, buy wrap. We are okay, we are fine. We can do that. Then we can go and see some movies. I love to see movies so well. Even when there is storm in the house, my husband will tell me, I know you are watching a movie. Of course, that is my own way. Because sometimes we want to join the children to him. I said, no, children, don't worry. We are going to do a movie. I will rush out. I could get popcorn, sweets. Close the blind. Turn off the lights. Movie time. Everybody will watch. By the time it's in another room, in the next 30 minutes, he'll come and join us. You say, I know, you are not bothered. I said, no, this is my mind. I want to protect it too. I want to live long. I want to live long. He will come and join us. And by the time we're into like 45 minutes into the movie, all the children are slept. I'll be the one to finish my movie. But I just know that that day, we have saved the day. In the following morning, whatever comes again, we'll face it. But that day is safe. The storm has been calmed. So let's do that. Whatever suits us, let's do it. Self-reflection. We are worried of so many things. Let's get a pen, let's get a jotter. In those days, we appreciate diaries. In those days. But now, I think we've forgotten the old school days. Our grandmas, our great-grandmas. Let's take a journal. Let's write it down. If you couldn't sleep, write it down. By the time you pour your heart in the book, have it beside you. It's off. Then we can go to bed. Let's stand the following day. Oh, we can, okay, I wrote this, that is what I want to do. And God is so merciful. And that's part of their benefit that we are Christians. God has a way of lifting the burdens, show us the way, and giving us the right things to do when we seek space on some things that we are confused about in life. So let's find time. Let's choose our space. If we need to go to a garden to have some self-reflection, let's go there. Let's find a way to take care of ourselves, our mind. Then, anything we reflect upon, let's use it to plan and grow our lives. Let's talk about what people say about us. People could complain about us, but let's not fight everybody who complain about us. Let's weigh it. Somebody says, so, I smile too much. Am I smiling too much? Okay, should I stop smiling? Let's weigh it. We shouldn't fight the person, because a lot of things going on with women is because we don't know how to get here from here. And when we do that, our mental health is stable, is balanced, and we'll have a good mental health, to live our life and to function in all our daily lives. So this brings me to the end of the talk.